Maybe
Good evening, fans from around the world. My name is Afolabi. I'm here with Beldo and Warif, and we want to quickly do a preview of the Euro games. The Euro games that are coming up tomorrow. We have the opening game between Germany and Scotland, and we have some games on Saturday as well. I think on Saturday we have Hungary, Switzerland, and Spain and Croatia. So once again, to join me to
wow.
analyze those games is Biodun Banjoko, Warifa Marcos, and I am still Afolabi Olaloku. Welcome, gentlemen. And how has it been? Biodun, how is Abuja? Warifa, how is Port Harcourt?
Port Harcourt is
Abuja,
fine.
Okay, so let's get straight into it. Let's look at the opening game, which comes up at around this time tomorrow between Germany and Scotland. Very quickly, Warifa, how do you see this one going? The host versus Scotland.
Well, the crowd will be the fourth man in the game. Sorry, the 12th man in the game. And with the experience the Germans they have, well, the match might not be easy for them, but I see them winning the match. Then one thing I always say, don't take anything for granted because football is like a war front. If you lose guard, you'll be taken on away. But for sure, I'll give the match to Germany. I will say 2-1.
Okay, fantastic. Beldo, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this game? It's the opening game, and Scotland are no pushovers too. So how do you think the match will go, Beldo?
yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting match if you look at the way the group is actually set up. And this game is actually a very interesting game to be the opening fixture, and it's a must-win game for the Germans because looking at other teams in the group is very dicey. Like Warif rightly said, I think on paper the result should favor the Germans being the hosts and having the crowd behind them. And knowing the caliber of players they also have in the German side like Toni Kroos, Jamal Musiala, and Fitz, as well as Manuel Neuer, their captain, returning back to the side after a long injury stint. So I think on paper it's an all German win and an all 3 points for Germany. But never say never in football. The Scots have been quite impressive in the qualifiers building up into the Euros. They had some massive upsets heading into the tournament. And also they must not be underestimated. They're a very compact side, a very disciplined side. But like we've known the Germans in the past, we used to call them the German machines.
Okay.
I think they would just have a little bit more than the Scots in this opening game. I think it's going to be a full 3 points for the Germans. But I know it's going to be a bit difficult for them, and knowing that the rhythm and the swagger has not um, been on par currently because regarding looking at past results, they've not really been fluid and fluent in terms of performance. But I know that they're definitely going to get the job done at home.
Okay, I quite agree with you guys too. Head to head, Germany and Scotland, they've played 17 times. Germany with 8 wins, Scotland with 4 wins and 5 draws. This particular game, I think the Germans will be under a little bit of pressure because they're in front of their home crowd and they're playing at that massively intimidating Munich stadium. So the pressure will be on them to get the tournament started on a good note. And I feel Scotland will try and make it very difficult. And I join you guys in saying it will be a victory for Germany, but it won't be like a wallop or a thrashing. I
Easy
think it will be a hard-fought, narrow victory for
victory.
Germany because of the home support and the pressure they're under. Scotland themselves are no pushovers. They tend to spring up surprises every now and then, but I see either a 2-1 victory for Germany or a 1-0 victory. So what I really want to ask now, gentlemen, which players are we to look out for, both on the German side and Scotland side? First of all, with Warif, who are your standout? Which players do you think will make the difference for Germany and then for Scotland? Warifa.
For the German team, I can't really pick out a particular player because there are a bunch of good players. There are a bunch of good players, but those in the midfield might really stand out. Then the German goalkeeper, Emmanuel Neuer, will also stand out. Then, there's this Arsenal striker, what's his name? Kai Havertz. One thing about that guy, he plays as if he's not there. But when he will strike, it will just be like a fluke. But the most important thing is the goals. So, like Biodo said, is it Musiala and Cruz? Yeah, so the Germans, they are good. They are for Scottish players. I don't know if what's this called, Mark Tomney for Man U, if he's
Yeah,
on,
he's
if
in their
he's
midfield. He's one
in the
of
team.
their most reliable
Then
goal
also this
scorers.
this Arsenal defender, what was his name? Tierney. I don't know if he's there also. I think the match will be interesting. It will not be an easy one for Germans, but German, they shouldn't take the Scots for granted.
Yes, I quite agree with you.
That's the thing.
If I look at the German team, the likes of Kai Havertz, I believe Kai Havertz will lead the line. And there are a lot of good players up front, the likes of Musiala, Havertz. Then in their midfield, they have the experience of Gundogan, who is the captain, as well as Toni Kroos, who will be pulling strings from a more deeper role. And then they have the security of a Rudiger at the back. So they're relatively balanced if you look at it. But if you look at the Scottish team, the fact that Scott McTominay happens to be one of their main scorers, it speaks volumes, really. We can see his form for Manchester United. If Scott McTominay is the person they're depending on for their goals, then I really don't know where exactly the goals will be coming from. But that's not to say they don't have quality players, but not in the caliber of the German team. So what do you think, Biodo? Who are your standout players for both teams, and where do you think the match will be won if Germany are to win this game?
Yeah, I think if you look at the Scottish team, they have a couple of experienced players in their squad. Most of them playing their football in England in the Premier League and the lower league. Also, you see the likes of Andrew Robertson, who is the skipper of the side. We know his pedigree in Liverpool and how he contributes to the success of Liverpool as a team. Like Warif rightly said, Kieran Trippier of Arsenal, despite not getting much time in Arsenal, they have a couple of good players like Kieran Trippier, like you said, Tierney,
Tierney.
Yeah, there's Scott McTominay to John McGinn, the man from Aston Villa, the reliable
McGinn too. That's another quality
He's
player.
also from Scotland. Billy Gilmore, the Chelsea Academy product who plays for Brighton also, as well as Stuart Armstrong, the man from Southampton. So there are a couple of experienced good players in the squad and wingers like James Forrest. I remember that guy troubling Chelsea at one point in the Premier League. And up front, I think they have Shea Adams, the Southampton striker, leading the line. And with their manager, Steve Clarke, who served as an assistant manager for Chelsea the last couple of seasons years ago. So they have a couple
I think he worked with Mourinho.
Yes, so they have a couple of players who can really pose a threat and do damage if the Germans and leave their guard down. But not to take anything away from the Germans. They have all to not getting 3 points tomorrow will be a disaster for the Germans. I think looking at the experienced players they have and the experience of the Bundesliga and the level of players that they have no excuse from Leroy Sané to Musiala to Florent Wirtz to Folkberg. Knowing how intrusive and incisive the Germans play, Kimmich, there are some fantastic talents in the German side, and we know some of all these players will turn up and switch things up. I think Musiala is the star man that will be leading the Bayern attack. Anything good that's going to for the Germans. For the Germans on Friday will pass through Jamal Musiala, definitely.
Okay, as you mentioned the Folkirk of Germany, I just wanted to quickly update our fans from around the world. I heard that the Dortmund coach resigned today. I don't know if you've heard that. I heard it.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yes. Edin Terzic, that he actually resigned today. So away from Germany, I feel it's going to be a German victory, though very narrow. Away from Germany, and let's move on to the Saturday games. Lunchtime at about 2 o'clock, we have Hungary and Switzerland. Now, for the Switzerland team, I barely know any of their players, but at least I can remember Granit Xhaka, the Arsenal boy. the former Arsenal boy that is now in Bayer Leverkusen, I think.
Okay.
And then for Hungary, we have
Leverkusen.
Dominic Sloboslai. I think Sloboslai is the captain. So what's your prediction for this game, Bjorn? Hungary, Switzerland. How do you see this one going? That's on Saturday, the first game on Saturday, Hungary, Switzerland.
Yeah, I think looking at the team, the Hungarians are very underrated if you look at the couple of players that they have. But we know the Swedes have European experience. They tend to turn up in European tournaments much more than the Hungarians. You know that the Swedes, you have some notable players in their squad, the likes of Jan Sommer, the ever reliable man who is the goalkeeper for Inter Milan and played many years in the German league with Borussia Mönchengladbach. They have a couple of players, the Man City centre back Manuel Akanji also in defense, as well as the centre back Fabian Schär in defense. So you see that the Swedes actually have a couple of experience. Like Warif said, Granit Xhaka is there in the midfield. They have Denis Zakaria, who plays for Juventus, was on loan at one period with Chelsea, and the likes of Jordan Shaqiri, and up front they have Noah Okafor of AC Milan. So they have a good squad. If you look at
I didn't know that Jordan Shaqiri was still playing. That guy is ageless.
Shaqiri, is he playing for among the Euro 24 league?
Yeah,
Switzerland.
Switzerland, yeah.
Wow, that guy is good. He's
one
a good
of the
striker.
most.
I don't know why.
Yes, he's one of the most
He's a very
experienced
good striker.
players in that Switzerland. So, what's your prediction, Jordan, really, for this game?
Yeah. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think for looking at the Hungarians, there are no notable names to call except Szoboszlai. But I saw what they did to Israel during a friendly. They hammered Israel, I think 4-1 or 5-1 recently. And they are a very dangerous counter-attacking side. I would say on paper, Switzerland should get the 3 points, but I'm not taking anything away from the Hungarians. They're a very dangerous side. And I think the game will end in a surprise Hungarian victory, in my opinion.
I agree with you too. I think at the end of the day, Switzerland, maybe experience will count for something. But like you rightly mentioned, apart from Dominic Szoboszlai, there are a couple of young players too that are not as notable as Szoboszlai, but I feel it will be a win for Switzerland. Maybe owing to the fact that they are more experienced. So I see this one going Switzerland's way. And then the big matchup at 8 o'clock tomorrow, Spain, Croatia. Warif.
Wow.
What are your thoughts? Spain, Croatia. Saturday. Saturday evening. Spain, Croatia.
I see Croatia winning the match. You know, Spain, they might have the experience, but those Croatian players, they are fast. They play real European football. But if you watch the Spanish guys, they play this mixture of football, South American football and American football. But for what do you call the Croatians, I'll give it to the Croatians, 2-1.
Okay, that's for Croatia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Croatia too has a lot of experienced players, the likes of Perisic, Ivan Perisic. I think Perisic is still in the team. Luka Modric too is still in the team. They have then they have this brilliant midfielder that plays for, I think he's still in Lazio. I don't know if he has left. What's his name now? I've forgotten his name. If I remember, I'll mention his name. He plays in the Serie A. Yes, Milinkovic-Savic. The guy is very good. So the Croatians are a very dangerous team. Spain would play their normal tiki-taka, which we know them for. A lot of possession football, very little penetration. My question is, where would the goals come from? Apart from Alvaro Morata and Jose.
Milinkovic-Savic, I think he plays for Serbia.
Is it Serbia? Okay, so it's not Croatian.
Yes,
okay.
Not Croatian.
Milinkovic-Savic is Serbia. So where are the goals coming from for Spain? Really, if you look at Morata is an old man, and Joselu, the Spanish team is relatively young. The likes of Jamal, they don't have any big tournament experience. And if you look at the way they played in Qatar, it became so sterile. Most of the teams got used to their possession football, and they were basically defending deep. and trying to hit them on the counter. So how do you see this one going, Biodo? Spain, Croatia. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I would agree with Warif. I think Croatia would win the game. I think Croatia has the better players and the better experience to win the game. I think if you look at the Spanish squad, yes, they have a couple of players that play in Madrid, in Barcelona, but as a threat and as a unit, I don't see they are much of a threat to the Croatians. Aside Lamine Yamal, the 16-year-old who can pose a threat, looking at the players Spain really are taking to the tournament, I see no threat in Morata, Joselu, Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo is always a threat for Ferran Torres. Not really, I'm not really convinced. Rodri, Nico Williams, Pedri, Jose, but it's not a bad side. It's not a bad team heading into the tournament from the Spaniards. I won't let me know that it's mid but when I look at the Croatian squad, my, you need to
They have
put your
some
hands
excellent
together for
players.
these boys. They have Gavida of Man City, you have Kovacic of Man City, you have Luka Modric, you have Brozovic, you have
Men that are
Kramaric, you have
experienced.
Perisic, you have Marco Pasilic. So they're very, very wonderful side, and their coach and Zlatan Zalic is also there and continue the wonderful work they do. You see, Croatia, they always stay as a very tight unit and it's very compact team. They're one of the most complete European sides heading to this tournament. Very dangerous side, and they would see this one is not who can dance. They will beat Spain. It's not any. This one is not anything.
And every team
They
will
will
want
win
to win their
Spain.
first match.
They will win Spain. It's not these people that they so frustrate France and Italy and Germany. It's not that they will beat Spain. That one.
I agree with you.
There's
They
not
play pure European football.
pure European football.
Pure European football. I agree with you.
Yeah.
So let's look
Yeah.
at the groups. Germany's group. Who are the other two teams in the Germany-Scotland group? Let me quickly check. So we can just talk about who would come out of that group. The Germany-Scotland group. And we just quickly check. Okay. Oh yeah, I think that's where Hungary and Switzerland are.
Yes, why Croatia is with Italy, Spain,
and Albania.
Yes.
So from this group now, Biodo, as we round up the show, who are your picks for the qualifiers, first and second? We have Germany, Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland.
I think it's going to be Germany and Switzerland. That should be the top two of the group.
Okay.
Aside any upset. Aside any upset, Germany and Switzerland. Germany top, Switzerland second.
Okay. I think I agree with you too. Warif, what do you think? This group has Germany, Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland.
Germany, Switzerland. Germany top.
Germany, Switzerland. Okay, let's look at the group that has Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania. I think from the look of things, Albania will be the whipping team. The top two will come from Spain, Croatia, and Italy. But what do you think, Biodo? The group that has Spain, Croatia, Italy, and Albania.
Yeah, I know the Italians would I can tell you Croatia is topping this group. Comfortably. The Italians will be second in the group. I think Spain will fall short.
Okay. I think I agree with you too. I see the Spanish team too naive and too inexperienced to trouble Croatia and Italy. Between Croatia and Italy, they have loads of experience. What do you think, Wari? Spain, Croatia, Italy, Albania.
Croatia, Italy. I'll go with Croatia, Italy. No, the Italians, like I say, they play like the Cameroonians. They don't rush their game. They take their time to frustrate you, then they counter you. So I'll go with them.
They're usually low scoring. They're usually low scoring, but they're hard to score against. They're usually very hard to break down. Okay, so it's on this note that we're rounding up our show for today. Biodo, thank you very much for your time. Warif, I'm so grateful for your time as well. So we'll see you again tomorrow on Ginodo Talks Football 2.0. I'm signing out, and have a wonderful evening.